going on, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video to kind of discuss a few things that I've noticed in Gears 5 that are not necessarily the same kind of stuff that, everybody else is discussing in the community. Obviously, you have store stuff, you know, gameplay, stuff like that. The same stuff that everybody has already discussed. We already know it. You can go ahead and talk about the store, talk about iron, transactions, stuff like that. We get it. I mean, everybody's discussed that. We all understand how that is. You understand how that is. The community understands how that is, and that's fine. What I wanted to do was take a few moments to kind of discuss a few things that I have found while playing or have kind of discovered or kind of just through playing the game itself that I have found kind of odd that don't seem to make sense to me. I want to go ahead and start off, like, I'm here in Horde playing as Marcus, whatever, on Reclaim, playing a custom game, it doesn't matter, regardless. One of the things that I have noticed was a lot of people that play Versus, and I'm not necessarily a big Horde player, but I do play Horde, obviously, because I have, Tour of Duty stuff I got to do. I have, daily objectives, stuff I've got to do, because I'm kind of forced to play that in order to get these objectives done. One of the things a lot of Versus players have begun doing is switching to classic alt and then remapping a few buttons, which obviously your X button gets mapped to A, your Y button gets mapped to X, right? Great, fantastic. So if, those of you don't know, if you didn't know this before, if you play on default, it doesn't read your wall bounce as when you press A. It reads your bounce input when you let go of A, which made the game feel a little bit sluggish. Now, I understand the concept of that as to why it exists. I really do. I do understand it because, it's the same button as Roadie Run. So a lot of people have switched to go to Classic Alt for this reason because it actually inputs when you press A. So if I'm looking at this wall, if I hold A, I mean, I can't really prove it to you, but if I hold A, it will bounce immediately because Classic Alt reads the input as pressing A, which is great because most of the time you're not worried about roadie running. You're trying to bounce. I mean, if you're a competitive player, that's what you do. But that's all fine and dandy. I don't care about that. What I'm talking about is a thing I found in Horde that's been happening to me lately. I play on Classic Alt and I try to play some Horde to do some dailies. And when I do this, what ends up happening is, let me plant this real quick. Come on, give me a place. Just let me put it. Just let me put it down. So what I originally was finding, I'm just going simply here. What I was originally finding was when I planted it on Classic Alt, X is mapped to A, Y is mapped to X. So essentially, you're playing on default. You are playing on default. And any of you that know that when you play Versus, you're doing this kind of remapping. Essentially, you're playing default, but the only thing that changes is pressing A to wall bounces instead of waiting for the release of A to wall bounce. Fine and dandy. So originally what was happening was the game prompts me in the bottom right corner of the screen to upgrade my character abilities, my skills, to upgrade damage, stuff like that, feedback, control, whatever, whoever I'm playing as, it doesn't matter. It was prompting me to press R3, which obviously is clicking in the R3 button. Now, I've been dealing with that for a week or so, and it was annoying because the problem that happens when you do this is for some reason it was reading as pressing A is prompting me to upgrade my skills. And now, as soon as I go to make this video, I have changed nothing. I've literally changed nothing. I did play some mouse and keyboard today. I did not change any settings. I just stopped streaming. And now, it's not even the option to upgrade my skills. But if you go to check it, and I don't really understand why, but yes, I'm playing Classic Alt, controller remapping. Nothing has changed. R3 originally was what was told me to press in order to upgrade my skills. But now, my X button's mapped to A, Y button's mapped to X. It's not prompting me for any button to upgrade my skills. Now, this honestly just started happening like 2 seconds ago. It's not working. I wish... I was honestly going to make this video real quick to actually talk about how pressing R3 is supposed to do it, and then pressing A is to, like, for some reason, when I'm trying to wall bounce around or trying to grab some, energy during pre-round, it kept prompting up my, upgradability skills. But all of a sudden, once I go to make this video, it's not doing that. And yes, I have not changed anything. I have not redone any mapping, so I don't know why all of a sudden it has stopped doing that. But now, even after trying to reboot the game, now I don't even have an ability to, like, bring up anything. I don't have the option to, you know, redo my skills, and I have not changed anything. That's it. Yes, I have 2 A buttons being mapped. X is mapped to something now. But I feel as though the game is not giving me an option to upgrade my skills. I don't know what it's supposed to default to. I would assume clicking the right stick, but it's not giving me that option. And that brings me... We'll just leave it at that. I don't know if that's something you should look into. I've not seen anybody talk about it. I think it should be something to be looked into. I don't know if you guys should maybe play on Classic Alt and do that same setup, mapping Y to X and X to A, or, you know, I can't see it at the moment. Maybe try that setup. Plug in a controller on PC, play Classic Alt, and then try that remapping. Yeah, map X to A, Y to X. So essentially, you're basically playing default. Obviously, we do this because the press of A bounces you into cover, and not the release of A bounces you into cover. So it makes the game feel a little more responsive, and I respect that. I enjoy it very much. It's a good compromise. I guess. I don't know if it was designed that way, but you know, a lot of people are migrating to that. The other thing I want to talk about real quick. I don't have gameplay. I'm literally just recording this real quick. So the next thing I want to talk about is rank decay skin rewards. So I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and the thing that doesn't make sense to me, and I'm just gonna put my controller down real fast, is the idea that the skin rewards for based on division, your player ranking skill is, you know, obviously you holding that rank, right? And that's fine. Hold the rank. You know, if you get placed in a rank, if you play the same way, you should be able to hold that rank. That's the whole idea. Holding that rank, playing the game, getting the rank, that's your skill level. You are there. That's your skill level. Fantastic. But what I feel like the problem is going to become is you're going to have players that rank up, they're going to struggle to get a certain rank, and once they finally hit it, they're going to stop playing the game. They're going to stop playing that playlist. That playlist is going to die. Maybe not right now because the game is new. But down the road, it's going to die because you're going to have playlists like Execution, Escalation, maybe not so much. Guardian, maybe. Perhaps Guardian. Because as soon as you hit, like, say, like, I don't even play King of the Hill right now. And King of the Hill is the playlist I love. But now I've got Masters in it, I know I'm getting the Division skins, and I don't have to worry about that dissipating. I don't have to worry about that disappearing. I'm going to get those skins. I don't know if the plan is to, after this operation is over, to reset ranks like you did in Gears 4. But from what I'm being told is you reward skins weekly or bi-weekly or tri-weekly. I think it's bi-weekly. But once a player hits that division that they think they can't achieve, but once they hit it and they're like, okay, I'm not going to play anymore because I just got it and I'm afraid to lose it. I don't want to do it anymore. I feel like that's going to become a problem. And the reason is because as far as I know, there's no rank decay. Now, I'm not saying there should be rank decay. And that's the third topic is, yeah, rank decay. When I first hit Masters and King of the Hill one night, I was 99% King of the Hill. And I was like, oh, I heard this article about getting a ranked reward. You got to hold it, and you got to hold it until this point in time. And if you're at that rank at that point in time, you're going to get this skin. Great. But I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm afraid to play a game because I may have a bad game and just get destroyed because if I play solo, I'm going to get teammates that don't know what they're doing. I'm not going to be able to perform at the level that I feel like I should be able to perform because I have nobody to cross. I have nobody to support me because I'm getting a bunch of randoms. Or I play with a squad and, you know, you just have a bad game. It's whatever. But I feel like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a bunch of players playing. They're going to get to their desired rank. There's no rank decay, as far as I know, because when I hit 99% Masters, or 98, I don't remember what it was, I didn't play for 2 weeks because I was really busy with a bunch of family stuff. And when I came back, I was the same rank. I didn't lose it. And I feel like that's going to become a problem later down the road that maybe you should look at. Because, yeah, people will get they'll get a desired rank in a certain playlist they don't normally play, and once they get it, they're done. They'll be like, oh, I'll just leave it there. I'm just going to let it sit. I'm going to get my division rewards, and I'm not going to play it anymore. Refuse to play it. Another thing I want to talk about is, so when I was sitting here, when the game first came out, I was trying to understand the way the ranking system worked. And the way I kind of grinded numbers, I was playing with friends, all this other stuff. It didn't make sense to me, but after so much time, I finally started to understand it. If you play solo, the game more or less looks at your player ability. And there's so many games at a lower rank that, obviously if you're obviously a higher skilled player, you dominate the game, you get MVP, whatever. And even though if you get a bad game where your teammates, aren't the best and you try to support them as best you can, you lose. But since the fact that, you just destroyed the lobby, you get a bunch of rank points and you rank up. But what was confusing is when the game came out, people were talking about, yeah, I'm Silver 2. I've been Silver 2. I can't get out of Silver 2. I play with friends, and no matter what I do, it seems like we win like 5 games, lose 1 game. We can't move. I'm playing with players that are Diamond. I'm playing with players that are Onyx, Gold. I'm Silver 1. Why am I not ranking up? And it took me a little bit, but I figured it out. The more players you have in your lobby, the less it looks at your player skill, and the more it looks at your team skill. So if you're running as a 5 stack, it doesn't matter if you're Silver 1 and everybody else in the match can be Masters or Diamond or Onyx, whatever. It looks at that total team rank. And maybe you designed it that way, which is fine. You're like, oh, we want 5 stacks to play against 5 stacks. Fantastic. I get it. But what the problem becomes is you have people that are getting put into silver, and then obviously they go straight to playing with a team of friends, and then they get matched up against as a team rank. Maybe it's balanced, but then that silver player destroys the entire lobby because, yeah, he's not obviously a silver. He just did his placement matches. He's silver now because he placed there. I placed silver almost everything I played. Solo, duos, triples, whatever. It doesn't matter. But then they lose a match even though they're MVP in an entire game. And then they still lose 400 tier points when they were MVP against gold, diamond players. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why after reading about everybody complaining about, yeah, no matter what I do, I play with friends and stuff, I'm just stuck at silver and we win so many games and we lose games. But if they get MVP and destroy the lobby, why are they still stuck at silver? Obviously, they prove that they have, progressed that player skill above the other silvers. So wouldn't you want them to boost up into higher ranks so that team of 5 plays against a stronger team of 5? Because obviously that silver player destroyed everybody, but then he only gets 200 points, 300 points. But then it goes vice versa. And that's the worst part. The worst part of it is that silver player can destroy a lobby as a team of 5 and then against another team of 5. But because they lost, even though they he's MVP and destroyed the entire lobby, he'll still lose 200, 300 tier points. It makes no sense. It should still look at the player's ability at that point, even as a team 5. Yes, you should find another team that is, 5v5, the rank score to make it as balanced as possible to the favored screen, whatever it's called, the details. I don't even know if it won't even let me bring up last match I played. But when you click on the tiers section and then you try to look at, the favored team of the matchup, if he's a silver 2, silver 3, silver 1, don't matter, and he destroys the entire lobby and then the team loses and he loses 300 points, yeah, he's never going to rank up. And that's why there's so many good players that are stuck in silver, which then all it does after that is it finds another 5 stack if it can find one. Don't get me wrong, if it can find one. And then when they finally get a game, there's another silver player on the team that he likewise is probably a really good player because he's playing as a 5 stack. But it's like these good players, when they run 5 stack, are stuck at being silver or gold because it's based off win-loss. And I get that. I get the concept, but it doesn't make sense. Because you have good players, just because they're running 5 stack, even if let's just say, and I don't know how it works exactly, but if they match up against a team that's not a 5 stack, because a lot of people say they run solo and they run into 5 stacks, but you can't prove that, right? You can't prove it. You just see this team destroyed. They all look like they played really well. Okay, I'm assuming they're a 5 stack. Yeah, you can't prove that. But if you're a 5 stack and you play against another team and that silver destroys a lobby, and even above other Onyx or Diamond players or Masters players, obviously he's not a silver. So why would he only get 300 tier points? Or if they lose that match and he has 3 Masters on his team or 3 Diamond players and he scores above them and they lose, why is he losing points? Shouldn't he be escalated up because it's he just proved that he is a higher rank? So shouldn't you want to prove that he's a higher rank and then make them match up against players that actually are at his skill level? Because I feel like that's why a lot of players are actually stuck at a certain skill level that they shouldn't be. And we've been testing it out, and that's what we're starting to notice. And this brings me into my next point. What you're going to eventually have, and you probably have designed it this way, is you have a lot of players basically not running 5 stacks because you can't find a game as a 5 stack. Otherwise, you search for 10 days. Well, it feels like 10 days, but whatever, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. You've seen it. People have talked about it, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you that the best way that a player can rank up is play solo to a 4-man squad, rank up, and that's what I did tonight. I've been Masters and King of the Hill for a while. I've been Silver and everything else, but I decided to run 4-man squad today and went from Silver 2 to Guardian Onyx 1, and then went from Silver 2 to Escalation Gold 2, running as a 4-man team. If I was a 5-stack, those 2 ranks would not exist right now, but because I was a 4-stack, it looked at my player skill somewhat. But what it seems like what it does is the more players you have in your team, the less it looks at your player skill and looks more at your actual team, right? So it's like it encourages players to play solo or as 2-man or 3-man to basically mitigate, like, depending on the win-loss, but more or less they want to have as many good players in the lobby as possible, but the game still look at their player skill. And I feel like that's going to start to be abused. So you're going to start having players, to correlate that with the last topic, you're going to have players playing solo or duos or trios or quads, getting to the highest rank possible that they feel they can do, Onyx, Diamond, whatever, and then they're going to run 5-stack with their most strongest players that they know they will not lose unless the game, if the game can find them a suitable match, then it'll be a pretty, competitive game. They'll get their masters, and since, as far as I can tell, there's no rank decay, they'll get their masters, they'll stop playing, and then basically, yeah, the playlist will die. And like I said before, I understand the game is young, so you probably have the most amount of players possibly at this moment. But give this game 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Game Pass players will move on. They're going to start playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. They're going to play other games. And then you're going to be left with some dedicated players that may or not be good players, not be strong players. I don't want to say good players. There's a lot of players that aren't skilled, but are good players that they try their best. But what I'm saying is when you have skilled players, veterans, this is what's gonna happen. Because what I feel like should happen is, I'm not saying give us the entire set as a ranked reward, but I still feel as though the game should look at your highest ranked achieved and then still give you the skin if you lose it. Because yeah, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna hit a high rank, they're gonna stop playing. That playlist is gonna have very few numbers because once they get the high rank, they're like, bruh, I'm done. I don't care. I'm getting my skin. That rank can sit there for months. I don't care. Now, if you're planning on resetting the ranks after 3 months for the next tour, great. I understand that. But if you're not, and you want people to actually, quote unquote, like you said, defend their rank, there's nothing to defend. Once you get it, you got it. I can let that King of the Hill. I've not played King of the Hill in a few weeks. Well, I played it back a little bit and got up to 70%, but I've not played it for a while and I've not moved out of it. If there is rank decay, I would like to know that there is. I would like to understand it. But as far as I know, I was 98% King of the Hill Masters, and I didn't play for a week and a half, and I was still 98% Masters, which told me that there was no rank decay. So if there is, I would like to know. But these are just a few things that I was thinking about while I was playing today. I wanted to talk about because I don't want to talk to you about store. I don't want to talk to you about iron. You already know what's going on. These are just a few things that I've seen, wanted to discuss, and what's your feedback? Kind of just want to understand, just want to know what you think about it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I'm not a YouTuber. I really don't know how to end shit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get out of here. So let me know what you think.